everyone, it's Farket here, and in this video I'm going to cover the new update, version 1.10, or 1.09 if you're on PlayStation 4. Now this video turned out to be quite long, so I've broken it down into 3 parts. This is going to cover the majority of the update, the next one's going to cover the locations of the new schematics that have been added to the game, and the third one's going to cover the new enemy. There is a lot of additions to this update, some fixes and some tweaks. Now first I'm going to say that multiplayers received a lot of fixes in terms of anti-cheating. I haven't had a chance to test any of this out. We'll see how it goes, though apparently you can prevent modders from joining and using cheats like ultimate cheat menu and that sort of thing. Hopefully it turns out to work. Help prevent those griefers. Now let's move on to the juicy stuff. Now first, I'm going to cover the glider. That's a new buildable that you can build with a schematic that you can find. It does look pretty cool, though it is quite expensive to build, and it is relatively easy to fly. Now to test this, I decided to build on my scaffolding ramps up in the snow area, so I can get nice and high before I lift off. When you're carrying it, it kind of works like carrying an animal head. You can't attack. You can use left-handed items like the lighter and such, though you're pretty limited in what you can do. You can't store it in your backpack. What I've noticed when walking around with this, be careful getting airtime because it will start you flying. And if you hit W, it's got inverted controls, kind of similar to how the flight simulators work, in that if you press up, as in W, or whatever the controller is on PS4, you'll head down and crash into the ground. So you want to hit S after you get some airtime. So jump and then hit S, or jump and don't hit anything at all. And you should take off. You could definitely go across the whole map with this thing, so it is a great way to travel. I tried to use the camera mode while I was in the glider and ended up crashing. Yeah, it probably wasn't the best. I don't know if you can take damage from falling off it. I don't know if you can let go. I didn't even test that. That you can use it to get to the bottom of the sinkhole. I probably don't recommend doing this because you can't get it out of the sinkhole once it's in there, because you won't be able to carry it through the caves unless you're using cheats and you just pick it up and fly out. Also, don't land in water if you can avoid it. It's really hard to get the thing out because you can't equip it while underwater. You can push it, it's quite easy to push, though this might be a bit of a mission depending how deep you've got it. I spent a long time just trying to get out of the sinkhole pond. The next is the crossbow, which is the new weapon type they've added. It is quite effective. It does a lot of damage. I'd predict about 3 times more than the modern bow, though the bolts cannot be crafted. I believe they can only be found. And so far I've only found them in the new spots. The crossbow has to be found as well. It can't be crafted. And it's in one of the new locations, which is the Shipwreck that was in the trailer preview. I went and had a look using invisible mode on to have a look at the wreck. A lot of the textures are missing. Be careful when you come over here, there's a shark nearby. Now I'm only going to show going to this one. I'm going to cover the rest of the schematics. There's 3 more. And there's 1 schematic here and the crossbow. Up in the island there's part of the wreck and there's 3 crossbow bolts stuck to it. I couldn't find anything else here. I don't know if the crossbow bolts respawn. Be worth finding out. If they do, it might be an incentive to live on this island. Though I went and had a look around the boat, and yeah, a lot of the textures are quite dark, so couldn't really make much out of what was going on. Trying to give you a better view rather than swimming underwater, because when you're underwater it's quite limited in what you can see. It is extremely dark down here. There's no items down here, though there is a cave that you can swim down to, which I'm going to do. It's all straightforward. The cave just ends up one way. You will need the rebreather for this. All the schematics, you will need the rebreather. Once you get in there's a few bones, and then you head down a corridor or a tunnel, and you come to a room that looks kind of like a refuge. There's lots of skulls in here. I wonder if this is all the crew from the ship. I'm not sure. But that's where the crossbow is in front of that picture there. I'm going to do some research and find out what type of ship that is, what era it comes from. It's definitely an old-fashioned crossbow, ain't a new one. Though there's the schematic for the totem, coffin, and church. Be good to make a graveyard with it. There's also some crossbow bolts in here. I think about 6 or something like that. 6 or 9. Next, I'm going to cover the new schematic structures. Now, these structures can only be built if you find the schematics, so they can't be built until you find them. I always wondered if they were going to add schematics to the game. Beforehand, you could build everything in the game straight from the bat, except for effigies with the whole sanity thing, but you know what I mean. Now, this building is quite large. It is very expensive to build, and it's quite unique. I like the look of it. They've done a good job creating this one. What use it's intended to have, I'm not sure. I think it might be for the new coaster. As for scaffolding, it might be good for that, but it is quite large and it might be a bit excessive, I'm not sure. Might be good for building up to avoid the new enemy in the game. Though you can't build on it from what I can see. I don't believe you can. There was one spot where the custom wall decided to do something, though I didn't experiment beyond this. There's always time for that. This thing takes forever to get up and down, by the way. Be careful not to fall off. You can also attach a custom wall around it. It seems to automatically place. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it could be made into a base. I'm not sure. The next is the church. And this one uses a lot of logs and not many sticks. It's a very well designed structure. They've done a good job on this one. What use it has is completely nothing. It's basically a prop. I'm not sure if you could build things in it. It could work as a house. As I mentioned, it could work well as a graveyard. Though a place is similar to the log cabin, as in it's got pillars and stuff on it. So it's got adjustable height. Though this would look good in a village, I think, if you're going for that look. It's got all the benches and the little pedestal where the preacher talks. It's pretty good. You can't sit on anything or do anything in here. It's pretty much for decoration. The next is the cross, or the totem. That is extremely expensive to build, though it's quite interesting because you can actually build off the side bits on it. And this one is a prop as well, so it doesn't really do anything that I know of. I mean, it might do something to the cannibals, might make them more angry or scared of you, I don't know. But yes, you can place things up there. Might be useful. Though, as I said, it is quite expensive to build. It does look pretty cool, I think. Definitely doesn't look like something a player can build or design. The next is a coffin. Now, it looks quite short, as in, I don't know if it's for an adult. Though, I suppose it could fit one in there. It's non-operational, meaning you can't open it and close it. It doesn't serve any purpose. This one's just a prop, basically. Though it looks pretty good. I think they've done a good job. I'm wondering how it could be used for other things. As you know, I'm always trying to find a use for things that are outside their actual use. The next structures are props that you get when you choose a particular ending at the end of the game. It's the one that allows you to continue playing. It unlocks a number of structures, and they've added some new ones. The first one's a car, and it's extremely expensive to build and it doesn't drive. So keep in mind, it's just a prop. You can't push it around, hop into it, sit down and recover energy. It is purely for decoration. I'm curious as to what car this is modeled off. It seems to be something around the 50s, I think, based on the design. Maybe 40s even. Though inside it's got a steering wheel and rear view mirror. It's got everything. They've done a good job on this one. Next is a cot. Oh, it's actually a dog. I called it a cot. I guess having a baby's kind of warped my perception of things. But yes, it's a dog. It's relatively cheap to build. Doesn't bark, roll over, or play fetch. I'm not sure if it will scare the cannibals. Worth a try though. Next is a TV. It can't even be placed on a table. I don't know why. Though, it does the job. You can't play anything on it. Though I'm curious, you might be able to place pictures on it. It's worth a try. The next is the coaster, and this is another schematic that you can find. This is intended for your turtle set. It's relatively expensive to build, and I'm not sure how practical it will be because of its price. Though if you're in creative mode, who gives a crap. Did struggle to build it off the tower. It didn't seem to want to work too well. I had to get in the camera mode, and it was quite difficult. I might have been doing something wrong, I don't know. Though this mechanic doesn't really interest me that much. It seems a little gimmicky. I'm wondering if it could be practical. It might be able to. I'm not sure. I think it's just more for fun. Kind of like when you finish the game and you've run out of things to do. It might be practical because it can build up some speed and it can get you places very quick. It's the fastest way to travel in the game, I think. Be faster than the zipline for sure. Though it is easy to fall off it though. So keep that in mind, don't get too carried away. And it also is not invulnerable, so it can be destroyed. Though it is quite durable, I wouldn't worry too much. Same with the tower, that thing can be destroyed. Might be best to switch destruction mode off. Avoid losing these very expensive structures. Now here's a change that wasn't listed, but I knew it was coming. Water collectors can now be destroyed. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I tested out the animal trap, and that is still invulnerable. It was very difficult to try to select things out of the book when I was trying to do this. And also the target, that is invulnerable still. So the animal trap and the target are still invulnerable. Now the church, that's not invulnerable. So even God won't protect you from the enemies in this game. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. It doesn't work, damn it. They're not scared of the Bible. Maybe they're not evil demon creatures. Well, we already knew that. And the cross or the totem, that's definitely not invulnerable. It got destroyed really easy. The glider is invulnerable. They can kick it around. It went flying up in the air instantly and slowly came down. So it could be very easy to lose this thing. I don't know if it has a map marker on it, but they just knock it flying every time. I even fell down the cliff and into the water. And then this female cannibal jumped at me and fell on the cliff. I thought I have to turn that into a song. I had a lot of laughs from that. But anyway, moving on to the minor stuff. There's volumetric clouds in the game now, and I don't really like them. The old clouds look a lot better. And volumetric clouds are gonna decrease performance of the game, so you could probably save yourself some hassle and increase your performance by having them switched off. They look good, but not good at the same time. I think maybe they're gonna be worked on a little bit more. I'm not sure. Though they do look more lively. Next is the water in caves. Apparently it has some reflection to it. I didn't notice anything different, but here's a picture of some water in a cave. The lighter flicker has been improved. I haven't noticed anything different, though here's a lighter switched on. The chainsaw now has a physical gauge on it and no longer has a bar across the screen. I think this is a good addition, makes it more realistic. Though I don't know if it glows in the dark, so at night time it might be a bit difficult to see what your fuel is. Next is the spray can. When it's empty, the player now throws it away, and be careful. No, it doesn't really explode. The player just throws it. You can't pick it back up again. You have to find another can for it to work. The higher you look up, the further he throws it. I don't know if that's if that interests you, but yeah. The next is a map. They've added the top area to the map. It never used to be there, but the bottom area of the map is still missing. So I'm guessing they're going to work on the bottom area next time. I'm not sure. Next is the head bomb. It's had a texture rework. It looks really good. They've put tape around the eyes and the mouth. I didn't even check if it actually changed the crafting recipe. It might require electrical tape now. It's not a very good bomb though. It's too hard to hit things with it. Though it does look very good. And lastly, I'm going to cover is the water in the lake in the middle of the map. This is actually a lake, not a river, because it's not connected to the ocean, but I think it's known as a river. It's now got ripple effects. Though I noticed it started raining, it didn't have droplet effects. Though here's the rest of the patch notes. It's just some minor fixes and changes. I haven't checked out many of them, though they're all minor stuff. Anyway, in the next videos, I'm going to cover the new enemy and where to find the schematics. My verdict on the update, it's pretty good, though I was expecting more as it's been 4 months since they last worked on any content. I think maybe I'm more after custom structures rather than prefabs. Maybe they're over it. Maybe they're not doing it anymore. I'm not sure. That was better than nothing. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.